Some guys have a natural tendency to frighten others, not because they are violent or menacing, but rather because of their calm, unfazed manner, which appears to jar people's innermost thoughts. The majority of people can't articulate why they feel this way. They just know that these guys don't appear to fit in with the typical social conventions. Status symbols don't function, and power backfires. The male hierarchy is naturally intimidated by these Sigma males. Even apparently harmless chats take on a new meaning, as if there were a hidden level that most people are not aware of. Others seem agitated by their mere existence. What is a masculine Sigma? When someone doesn't fit into the usual hierarchy, they experience a kind of social vertigo. A Sigma male is a man who doesn't neatly fit into traditional masculine classifications and doesn't adhere to the same strict hierarchy, even though he may have characteristics with an alpha male, such as independence, confidence, and a strong sense of self. Men of Sigma, they defy expectations and forge their own paths. Alpha guys are thus very difficult to forecast or manage. Additionally, they are often seen as lone wolves who would rather work freely and unhindered by laws or societal conventions. The most amazing thing about these individuals is that they often scare people without trying. This may make them both fascinating and terrifying to others. They're only acting in accordance with their own internal compass, even while everyone else is aware of the shift in social relations. Let's uncover 7 hidden reasons why Sigma males naturally frighten others and how this unintentional ability exposes more about human nature than most people are prepared to admit. Their silence speaks more than words. To start, the reason a Sigma male's silence can unnerve a whole room without him saying a word is because of this biological fact. Think about the majority of social interactions. People tend to fear things that they cannot read. A joke is spoken by someone. Like in a dance, when everyone knows the motions, everyone follows along, but the rhythm is broken by a lone guy. People gloat, chuckle, and seem astonished. Psychological pressure comes from people's inherent need for predictable responses. When someone is quiet in social settings, according to nonverbal communication expert Dr. Alex Thompson, the pressure that comes from other people going about their social routines is quite upsetting to most people. See what happens when a Sigma person maintains his composure and insight in a social setting. Others start speaking hesitantly, making a greater effort to seek a response. Some even get visibly agitated. What annoys them is not the silence itself, their inability to understand its significance. The most illuminating is how this silence affects those who are used to taking advantage of others. They have trouble telling whether someone is judging, agreeing, or just indifferent. Because a Sigma male's silence acts as a mirror reflecting back everyone's worries, assumptions, and learning, for while others employ words as shields or weapons, this UNC shatters their trust in ways that no amount of discussion could ever address. The second piece of proof is that they go without warning. Most people make a big deal out of it by leaving chances, threats, and hints. The leave of a Sigma man is not like witnessing a protracted parting scene in a movie. Rather than being theatrical or attempting to teach someone a lesson, he simply reaches a point at which remaining no longer makes sense and takes immediate action without making any announcements. No haggling, no looking back. What scares individuals is not the conviction itself, but the confidence that underlies it. It's hard to overlook the feeling of finality that comes with a Sigma's departure. Once he makes a conclusion that something isn't worth his time or effort, it's usually irrevocable. He gets another employment without any fuss, and you may detect the trend of a poisonous scenario at work. Others could leave abruptly but come back after they settle down. A collaboration turns into deceit. He walks away without saying anything. When a friendship reaches its breaking point, it ends suddenly and without warning. His ability to go silently worries others, since it shows that he values his peace more than any situation or social contact. Since most people stay stuck in bad situations, making excuses or hoping that things will get better, he simply removes himself from the equation. Sometimes the biggest power move isn't what you do, but rather what you're willing to do to number 3 because they don't follow the script. There are predictable patterns in life. Most people unconsciously adhere to the unwritten rules that make social interactions smooth and enjoyable, which makes it easy to anticipate what they will do next. This is a game that alpha men excel at. The reason Sigma males show up isn't because they're rude or rebellious. Rather, it's because they respond to situations according on their own judgment rather than what society expects of them. Renowned psychologist Eric Berne called these anticipated traits social scripts. Others may find it challenging to comprehend a Sigma's thoughts since they are expected to act in predictable ways. These individuals completely break the norm, even if their responses make perfect sense. It's not that their responses are flawed, rather, they use logic instead of pre-written words and are sincere rather than robotic. The majority of comments have a distinct pattern. These men are just responding to what they see, not what they should see. They are not being unpredictable because they are hard. While others execute, their practiced people are sometimes surprised by the authenticity with which Sigma males may act in social situations. The most unsettling part is how this affects other people's sense of control, since you can't control the situation or predict how someone will respond, like a chess player facing an opponent who doesn't use any known strategy. Because often the most frightening thing about someone is not their power or aggression, but rather their incapacity to anticipate their next move. People get uneasy when they are unable to forecast what will happen next. Fourth, the majority of people are like open books. Their facial expressions immediately reflect their feelings. You smile widely when you hear good news. Their outer look seldom reflects their inner condition, but that's not to say they don't experience emotions. Sometimes they feel them even more intensely than others. Consider it a natural version of a poker face. It might be challenging to read Sigma guys since they don't always express their feelings so clearly. On the other hand, whether they are enthusiastic, furious, or totally indifferent, they usually keep the same composed demeanor. While some people show their emotions on television, Sigmas keep their feelings to themselves. He may be elated about a triumph or deeply distraught about a situation, but his countenance never changes, making him hard to read. This is his innate way of handling emotions, not just a protective strategy. Although not all Sigma men are emotionless and stern, even those who are quite sensitive will seldom express their whole range of emotions. In situations where most people would react visibly, he is very terrifying since he keeps his inscrutable manner. He's simply naturally private with his emotional outbursts, when everyone else is a public spectacle. It's not that he's trying to conceal anything. Because it differs so much from their own modes of expression, people are sometimes terrified by this emotional control because they are unable to discern whether he is pleased or disinterested, delighted or unhappy. Because they can manage their emotional expression without even trying, Sigma guys are frequently seen as threatening in a society where most individuals let their emotions run loose like a leaky faucet. The fifth is that they are unnervingly patient. When someone presses their buttons, pushes them back, tests them, and they react, most people react fast. People either join in or fight back when they play games. It's similar to watching a tennis match go back and forth, but a Sigma man doesn't pick up a racket because he understands that most of the games aren't worth playing. He waits for the appropriate opportunity, while others hurry to take advantage of them. He lets the drama burn itself out when it starts. Because they're used to knowing where they stand immediately, those who exhibit this kind of patience get uneasy. Others start to wonder what a Sigma is thinking, what he is doing, or even whether he is planning anything at all because of his calm waiting style, which seems like pressure developing. Whether he is indifferent, just waiting, or mentally taking notes, the unsettling element for most people is not his patience in and of itself, but rather what that patience may entail. Even those who try to outlast him often crack first since he is really at ease with the long game. True power, after all, is about recognizing when you don't need to respond at all, not about how quickly you can react. Sixth, you will experience a variety of energy types since each space has a unique vibe. While some people exhaust you with their constant performance and others with their neediness, a Sigma is someone who makes an excessive effort to be liked or appreciated. Because it doesn't need your approval or attention, male energy is unique. Because he maintains a constant frequency while everyone else bounces energy about like a pinball machine in an attempt to impress, compete, or connect, he has a peculiar influence in social settings. It's like meeting someone who is completely comfortable with you. People find it strange that he just lives in his own energy field and isn't attempting to alter or fit the vibe of the room when they try to get him engaged in drama. He stays in his own little universe no matter how hard you try to get him to move. Despite your best efforts, he remains unimpressed. He dances to his own beat, not in a rude manner, but on a completely different frequency than everyone else, who seems to be dancing to music they can hear. What really baffles them is why humans are unable to control this energy. It is stable and self-contained. Neither praise nor criticism can corrupt it. 7th, they avoid power clashes, which makes individuals strangely aware of how much external energy they need to feel good. Every work involves power dynamics. The Sigma's innate response to these games presents an intriguing issue as he evaluates circumstances based on merit rather than power. Even yet most individuals learn to play this game in order to maintain their professions. He will honor capable leadership, but he won't act as if poor choices are acceptable simply because they originate from higher authority. Supervisors who want to feel in control of every action, managers who control by subliminal terror, and bosses who require continual approval. Some bosses are irritated by this since they're accustomed to individuals either disobeying or succumbing to their authority, but this person just handles them like a regular employee, assesses situations impartially, and remains professional without becoming involved in power battles. He boss's annoyance is evident in the little details. The Sigma discreetly leaves at his usual hour if there is no actual need to remain late. Instead of pretending that a terrible concept is fantastic, someone who pulls rank to promote it will subtly bring out its flaws. These individuals continue to do their jobs effectively and adhere to acceptable standards. They just choose not to participate in the drama of power. Recognizing the fraudulent agreement because of the phony enthusiasm that many leaders expect, this innate opposition to efforts at power often creates interesting situations. While some bosses come to appreciate their candid advice, others find it unacceptable to have someone they can't control using traditional means, since true independence may sometimes be a worse threat to authority than resistance. Please subscribe to our channel for additional videos about the Sigma personality and related topics. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep going and become better. Remember to click the like button and leave a comment below with your opinions.